I am but an errant foolish knight, my sword hand pierced upon the thorns of courtly love. Truly, I have courted all, as if romance is my questing beast. So many maidens, draped in mysterious heraldry, the houses of Dolce, Gabbana, Dior, Gucci. I returned to London Wick 6 years past, though it seems I have lost centuries in a pleasurable fugue. This age is so strange, and yet. The May Queen still assumes a new form each year, as do those mistresses hitherto unknown to me. Miss June, Miss July, and so forth. I have kept extensive records of their illustrated literature. Oh, the one true king thought I gave myself too fully to chivalric pursuits. But to woo is as much my life's work as to defend his realm. And I weep at where his chasteness left him, slumbering forever in Avalon, alone, where once his marital bed was most accommodating. My charge as Knight of the Round is to safeguard this grove from the coming darkness. For lo, ages past, the Grail Cup was brought here, aflame, with golden nectar supped from Gaia's fertile bosom. Indeed, 'tis a storied cast of players who inhabit these Eldwick grounds. Fairy Ken, Knight's true mighty sorceress. Perhaps the ages have not changed so much. And the temptresses. Such temptresses. Of every hue, every color of dress. Many times over have I been advised to keep to my own affairs. At least many other times I recall the term affair being brandished. Thus it was with great cautiousness of judgment that I took in the fair Callie of the Tartans. Yet a knight without a squire is as a lance that thrusts untrue. And none could ask for a squire more fiery or independent than she. Fervent were her virtuous rejections, and I have responded twofold, sixfold, a scorefold with renewed oaths of eternal fealty. Would that I recall the words once she spake. Ah, yes, yes. John, your sword is not going anywhere near my stone. Oh, such japery. I harbored such hope that Templars and I would share in the bonds of chivalrous kinship. Our nights enlivened by the camaraderie between young minds, the vigorous debate of cardinal virtues. Alas, I have been expelled from their halls again and again, even as I protested the profundity, the genuineness of my feelings on this matter.
There are kind of laws against the way you profoundly and genuinely feel things.
I suffered them to cast doubt upon my honor and knightly lineage.
I had to suffer them casting you into the street without your clothes. That was an eyeful.
I had partaken of the pool. I could not fault their zealotry, yet their humility leaves much to be desired. 'Tis not a knight's place to impose his order upon the world. For whom do Templars rule? Themselves or the people of the land? Verily, I would pine for the counsel of my lost brothers in forgotten Camelot. Were there not so many distractions? Beautiful, beautiful distractions. Ah! Le monde invisible. A stranger creature never did I encounter in all my travails. 'Tis a darkened veil, drawn down between us and the lives of good common menfolk and women. Who celebrates the May Rain? How different the stories told around the glow of television, if any tell at all. I am rebuked by Templars and others. Should I recount my deeds to a passing maiden by way of courtship? Even said maiden regards me with sly incredulity and speaks, "You don't have to look funny, John, just buy me a drink."
I found him out at the tower blocks once, asking them to let down their cornrows.
And yet, when children give me audience, I am reassured that they still dream of being comely princesses, bold knights, players of ball games. Fair Callie, is this not the real life? Am I just a fantasy?
Art thou caught in a landslide?
Ha! You jest. But I think it be the jest of love. Excalibur. The singer, the opener, the ender. You should know the one true king wielded it like a sunrise. And lo, every face in the land was upturned to it, living and dead. 'Twas Gaia herself who proffered the blade to him, in one story from a pool of golden honey, in another from a well of blackest night. Merlin told me both. I know not which was more true. He was touched in the head, mayhaps driven so for the jealousy of Morgana's thighs. Yet that is another tale. One I fear I could not recount in the detail its ravishing subject deserved.
Never mind the psycho redhead. What happened to the sword?
Like that flamed-haired sorceress, it passed on, dreamland. It came upon us to unlock the mysteries of the world, and then it disappeared, back among them. Never did I set eyes on it again. The ghosts of Avalon still repeat its song. Mind's eye.
Hey, behave!
Why, I speak, of course, of your pursuit of girlish companionship, even if it be with that fiery-haired, fiery-tongued hellion.
I just couldn't stop staring at her. She was one of those mythical things, like unicorns, elves, decent men, that only exist when I'm dreaming.
Then dream on, fair Callista, dream on. Come, let us lift our spirits in song.
How about no? Let's make a deal, yeah? You and me, no patronizing. I get the feeling we're in the same boat, so fair's fair. You've got that look. Yeah, that one. Like you've seen the end of the galaxy. And I've grown up pretty fast since I learned I could start fires with my head. Bang goes the ballet school dream. Bang goes the ballet school. Try explaining that one to your parents, or to the police. So, I ran away from home and ended up here. It's really put teen angst in perspective. Back then I used to worry about fitting in. Now I worry about people disappearing and never knowing if they've skipped town or were pulled through a shadow. Or if they switched sides, however many sides there are. Or if they'll try to have me sectioned under the Mental Health Act of 1983. So much for Gran always being my shoulder to cry on. Let's make a deal, yeah? You and me, no patronizing. I am so not a city girl. I grew up near the Yorkshire Moors, where you can just walk away from town and be in the old hills. In the smell of summer heather, the crackle of burnt cut grass. Everything is magic still. My report cards were always, Callista needs to concentrate harder. But I was concentrating. Just maybe not so much on maths or physics. That wasn't real to me. You couldn't live in a place like that and not believe all the legends. Well, I couldn't. Okay, so John's a bit of a lech. He keeps his hands to himself, though, more than my old classmates would have managed. They'd think courtly love was something that goes on behind the gym. John's a gentleman, A proper knight. Or he thinks he's one. And that's good enough for me. I learned to read from Arthurian literature, always hoping a knight would come questing past my window astride a white charger. What? Like I said, it was tough for me to fit in. You don't find my idea of romance on Hollyoaks. Their loss. Anyway, I look after John, like a good squire should. It would be a bigger deal if he had a real horse, or an actual sword, or if the enemies of the glade he's always talking about ever showed up. Mostly, I just hold his hair out of his face when he's had too many ciders. Okay, so John's